Hello everyone and welcome back guys to a brand new video where today we're here back with round 10 of season 4 of the F1 2021 My Team Career Mode. Yes, the summer break has now been and gone of course. If you missed out on the last video from the British Grand Prix, I would highly recommend going back and checking it out though. But as we head back to Belgium this weekend, we've got a few good tracks in the upcoming calendar. We've got a few tracks that should suit the car as well, with a bit of luck, because of course, the championship battle is heating up. Only very few upgrades left to go now on F1 2021. The powertrain ones we can't do. We've just got to wait for Honda to deliver those extra upgrades now. So really, we've just got a few little durability things that can be done in the near future, but we're saving some R&D points at the moment, trying to look forward to Season 5. But championship-wise, though, it is still Max Verstappen on the top of the championship, as he's basically been all year long there. But both Mercedes, Hamilton and Tsunoda looking very ominous. We haven't had the best run in the last couple of weeks, so we're a little further back now in 4th place there. And Sergio Perez trying to get involved in this championship hunt as well. So it could be both Mercs, both Red Bulls and myself battling it out in the final 6 races of the year. But yeah, we've got a good fun, like I said, sequence of races coming up, of course. This time around, we're at Belgium, then we've got Italy, Singapore, Japan, and then, of course, Mexico, USA, Mexico, and Brazil to round out the season there. We've been consistent so far, but can we maintain that sort of momentum? Let's dive in to the Belgian Grand Prix. I always love coming back to Belgium on the Formula 1 game, so fingers crossed this weekend, Circuit Spa can play in our favour there. A lot of wheel spin out of turn 1. Wasn't expecting the car to bite like that the way it did, but a little bit worried the fact they've still obviously got a lot of engine wear at the moment, so we might have to swap over some parts this weekend.
Watch your MFD for the activation point.
I do want to try and avoid penalties if I can in the final few rounds of the year, but then again I say that, the only race we won was of course the Castellet, which was the only race I think this season where we've started from the back, so yeah, Paul Ricard works in weird ways on F1 2021, but we'll see what we need to do this weekend. Of course, we'll have a look at the end of practice. Don't want to put any new parts in the car for practice sessions. Then we may as well run on the worn out bits, but yeah, let's just wait and see. That being said, heading out the final chicane of our track acclimatization lap. Is it going to be the purple score? Yes, it is. Bang on. Heading in towards the final couple of corners of our fuel saving run. Of course, make up so much time down the straightaways on the Delta there, 2 seconds up, so although we're not going to quite get it into the purple as we head through the final chicane, I'm sure we can just lift and coast out of these final corners. There we go, up towards the line, purple score. Let's get into qualifying. Heading out then for our first qualifying lap here, feeling a bit more confident this weekend than we did at Silverstone last time round. Of course, the AI just so OP at Silverstone, my joint worst result of the year. But yeah, feeling like the car's gripping up rather nicely here in Belgium, and I always feel like this is a track I can get a little bit more out of the car than most places as well. As we try and head down the hill, there was a lot of understeer there. We'll go for the F1 Esports line. No idea. I have no idea how little that gains you, but we may as well go for it. Lando Norris already down to 138.3. And yeah, we'll see how close to our teammate we can get. Obviously, as you can tell, opted to go for the mediums for this first run in Q1. Obviously, just looking to make it into Q2. Coming in towards the bus stop chicane, though. Brake at the 100-metre board. Try and tip it in. Attack the curbs, both on the entry and a little bit on the exit as well. Up towards the line. What's the first lap going to be? It's going to be a 140.2. Slower than Mazepin and George Russell, but again, we were on the mediums, so definitely another over a second at least. We can probably get into the 38s. In towards the final chicane, though, again, to finish off our second lap. Just thought we'd get back out there, no dramatics, and try and see ourselves nicely through into Q2. Out of the final chicane, it is going to be about a 138.8. There we go, 138.88. Puts us 2/10 off Verstappen. But it seems like Mercedes as well struggling a bit for pace, so no idea who's at the top of the timing screens. Well, there we go then, at the end of Q1. Looks like Ferrari are right on the money this weekend. Lando Norris fastest in just his second weekend back in a Formula 1 car there, and Gasly up in P3. So, seems like, Ferrari, AlphaTauri, ourselves, Red Bull and Mercedes all could be in the mix weekend there. McLaren aren't even that far away either. So, plenty to play for. Both Williams, both Alphas, both Haas out in Q1. And yeah, that first time would have got us through there, because there's a 1.4 second drop from Stroll down to Ilott. Yeah, Williams have fallen away badly. Right, anyway, into Q2 then. Let's just see if we can try and set another 38 straight off the bat. Try and give ourselves the ability to do 2 runs in Q3. Felt like a pretty decent lap up until now. Let's just make sure we don't do anything stupid through the final chicane. No idea if it's going to be any quicker than our previous lap, but we'll wait and see as we head out of the final corner up towards start-finish line. It is going to be another 38.8 there, so within thousandths of the time we set in Q1, which isn't bad around a 7-kilometre circuit, but that should be enough to see us through into Q3. There we go then, the end of Q2. Lando Norris struggling a bit more for pace that time round as Sergio Perez goes fastest, but seems that McLaren, yeah, they've definitely got some pace there. Bottas on a 1:38.3 on that second run. Any major surprises in Q2? Doesn't look to be. I'm actually saying that Charles Leclerc, I'm sure, a bit gutted to end up so far off his teammate. But we get 2 shots of this here in Q3. I think a mid-38 is doable if I absolutely get the lap hooked up, but we're going to have to be brave. Right, ready then for Q3. We're going to go for 2 absolutely all-out laps here in this session to see if we can try and find that little bit more time. Let's just wait and see then at the final corner. Nice and early on the power. And yeah, fingers crossed if we can set a good banker, even if it is just another 38.8. Let's actually nudge the grass on the way into turn 1. Yeah, if I can set another 38.8 first lap or around even just a little bit quicker, I'd be pretty happy. Because then, of course, we got a time to chase throughout the second run, then nudge the wall as we head down the support pit lane. There's a lot of curb over the top of Radion. Activate the DRS as soon as we can as we fly up the Kemmel Straight here. 215 miles an hour. We're topping out at the end here with no slipstream to help us out. And on the brakes just before the 50. Oh, big wobble there as we took far too much curb on the entry. No idea how we're able to keep that one pointing in the right way as we head down the other side there in towards, I think, is this Beau Rivage? I can never quite remember. Don't even know if that's the right circuit. I'll be honest with you guys there as we head through No Name. Again, we're going to try and take the esports line. Just opens up the run through Pooh on a little bit more there. So we're going to go down 1 gear at the 50. Oh, running very, very wide that time round, but we get away with it. Back up into 8th on the exit. And heading in towards the next couple of corners, but still doing upwards of 200 miles an hour there as we head through Fanyas. The quick flick to the right and then back to the left. Down another couple of gears as we head through the first part of Stavolo, and then you've got to try and really get a good run on the exit there. Avoid that inside curb. It will unsettle the rear end of the car. And then power up the back. Well, it's not really a straightaway, of course, but not really a corner anymore with these high downforce Formula 1 cars. Through Pouon, completely flat out. Through Blanchemont even, sorry. Completely flat out there. We actually get a warning for exceeding track limits on the anchors just after the 100-metre board. Through the final chicane. Try and get on the power nice and early without avoiding too much wheel spin up towards the line, and that's a lap of Spa. And there we go, immediately a 38.7. Let's go all out then. Second lap, we've put a good banker in there, but there's more time to be had. Definitely a few mistakes. We could get down in towards a low 38 if we hook it up. Right, we're currently sat P5 then, as we get ready for our final run here of Q3. Let's see if we can just find that little bit more time. Avoid the bumps on the inside, but this lap I think we're definitely going to have to try and sweat. We've got to try and get this all hooked up. Want to be starting as high as we possibly can for the Belgian Grand Prix, because this championship battle is still on, and it's days like today that can really make the difference. This lap has been an absolute whirly up until now, though. 3 tenths up as we head in towards the final sector. Could we be on for a low 1:38 there? I've seen Sonoda post a 38.1. Don't think we're quite going to set that sort of time, but just make sure we get through the final couple of corners, attack the curbs. Oh, big snap of oversteer there through the first part. Get the power down though, come on. We throw away 3 tenths towards the line, and it's only, I think, a 38.6 there, and we threw it all away in the final couple of corners. No idea how we held on to the back end there, however, but yeah, we'll see how many places we lost.
We're all ready for tomorrow's race, but before we begin, let's have a quick look at those who will be fronting the grid. Tsunoda, Verstappen and Lewis Hamilton. Well, that wraps up qualifying, but don't worry, we'll be back tomorrow as we head into the Grand Prix.
Well, I think we lost the place to Gasly, of course, but I don't think we would have quite got Checo Perez there. I think we lost, yeah, pretty much exactly 1/4 of a second. So we would have been right with Perez for 5th place there. But yeah, Mercedes and Red Bull at the end of the day do come out on top there. Bottas, could we see him fighting at the front for the first time since Season 1 as well? That will certainly be a sight to behold this weekend. But it's 7th and 9th on the grid for us. We've got a good car down the straights though. Let's dive in to the Belgian Grand Prix.
We're in Belgium once again for today's round of the Formula One World Championship. It's a race the great Ayrton Senna won 6 times, and in 2019, Charles Leclerc became the first driver to take their maiden win here since Michael Schumacher in 1992. Spa-Francorchamps then, a historic 19-corner circuit with a lap distance of 4.35 miles. There's over 100 metres of elevation change here, and with long stretches of the lap spent flat out, a good top speed will be vital for success. Anthony Davidson also joins me in the commentary box today. Let's have a chat about McLaren. What do you make of their performance so far this season?
Well, the atmosphere within that team seems very positive at the moment. Everyone seems like they're in great spirits and having a lot of fun doing what they do, and that's definitely contributed to the performances we've seen.
It's time to take a look at our starting grid for today's race. Yuki Tsunoda lines up on pole position, edging out Max Verstappen, who'll start from P2. As we continue through the rest of the grid today, we have Hamilton, Bottas, Sergio Perez, and Gasly, Mr. Monaco, Sainz, Ricciardo, and Charles Leclerc, Russell, Stroll, and Guan Yu Zhou, and Norris, Mazepin, Ocon, Callum Islet, and Nicholas Latifi, Lundgaard, Giovinazzi, Mick Schumacher, and Robert Schwartzman. It's almost time for those 5 red lights to go out. Then let's see who can prevail today.
After the points finish last race, let's aim to keep the momentum going.
Right, well, we finished the last Grand Prix in 7th, and we start this one from 7th place as well. So fingers crossed that's a good omen, and we continue trying to move forward here. Soft mediums is always the way to go at the Belgian Grand Prix. Of course, medium softs if you're starting outside the top 10. Of course, we can underfuel the car probably by pretty much as we possibly can there. Yeah, 2.5 laps. We keep making up so much fuel in recent Grand Prix. But I just want to dive right in then here to the Belgian Grand Prix. Looking like it's going to be sunny all day long. And fingers crossed the sun can shine on our car. Title rivals starting a long way in front of us, but waiting on those 5 red lights. And it is going to be lights out and away we go. Actually responding pretty well as we head in towards turn 1 there. Sergio Perez, I think, thought about trying to make a move up the inside of Lewis Hamilton. They're getting squeezed a little bit by the Spaniard of Carlos Sainz out turn 1. There is no idea where Lando's dropped back to off the start of the Grand Prix there. We've got one of the McLarens looking up the inside. Oh, big wobble as we head through a rouge there. Luckily, we keep that pointing in the right direction. Daniel Ricciardo just had to back out of that one as he had no idea where Lando's dropped back to off the start of this race, but in towards the middle sector for the first time. Desperately got to try and get some heat into the rubber. Come on. We cannot afford to drop away from the leaders like we did last weekend. We have absolutely got to stick close to these guys early on here and try and pick our way through as well. You know, we want to be trying to battle for the Constructors' Championship, but we need Lando, yeah, to definitely pull his finger out at the end of the day. Of course, new to the team though, so I don't know if a team's ever won a Constructors' Championship after changing drivers mid-season. As Ricciardo, where on earth did he find that grip to have a look at the inside on the exit of Pau on there? No idea about that, but we hold firm again through the Fania chicane. And yeah, as we come towards the end of lap 1, we have lost 1 place to Carlos Sainz off the start, but we're trying to hang on to these guys. In towards the final chicane then of lap 1. Ooh, big snap oversteer again there, doing exactly what we did at the end of qualifying. Tsunoda leads the way at the end of the first lap there, but it is our big 3 title rivals in the top 3. So we're definitely going to have to start trying to make progress sooner rather than later. Try and get a nice run out of La Source, and we have done so. I think we're just going to have to see what the top end speed of a lot of other cars is like here. Normally we're pretty good down the straight, but I'm running a lot of aero this weekend. There was a bit of a wobble up through a Rouge and Radion. Are we going to be able to get him some run on Carlos Sainz? Gaining on the Ferrari. We'll have a look, but no, nothing happening there as he actually snagged the brakes at about 150. It's rather impressive. But yeah, we have got definitely more top-end speed over Carlos, but we're just going to have to wait, I think. Because again through the middle sector. The AI tend to be able to find a lot of confidence.
Okay, some information on Perez. They're slowing down. It seems like there's some kind of problem with their car.
Also, Perez already with issues then in this race, so we might be able to have a look past Sergio in the next couple of laps. Still up in P5, so we'll have to keep tabs on that one. As Sonoda, yeah, low 41s. What would be pole
DRS will be
in real life?
You can use it when within 1 second of the car ahead and in the DRS zone.
Yeah, what would be worthy of pole position in a real Grand Prix, yeah, is what we're sitting on full race fuel early on F1 2021. These cars are so monstrously fast. Yeah, Perez is definitely struggling. He's starting to back up Gasly, Sainz and myself here, and Ricciardo now starting to wait in the wings once again, but we've got a good run out of Stavolo here on Carlos. Have a... thanks?
Brilliant. Nice move.
That wasn't a particularly brilliant move then. No idea what Gasly and Carlos Sainz are doing. Sergio Perez going slowly through the final chicane there. We'll have a look around the outside of Gasly. Try and put the power down on the exit. Give him a little bit of room on the exit of the corner there, but that's just straight into 6th place then.
Out of fuel before the end of the race. Start being a little conservative with the remaining fuel, please.
Gasly tried to keep the nose at the inside through turn 1, but never going to allow that to happen. And as long as we get the DRS on Sergio Perez, which we're about to, he might be a bit of a sitting duck here as we head through a Rouge Radion once more. Keep it nicely between the white lines that time round. And what is the top end speed of that Red Bull going to be like in this Grand Prix? We're gaining on Sergio. Really don't want to be stuck behind him through Sector 2, but I think we're going to be this time round. So again, do not want to attack that curb there. As yeah, Sergio is really struggling early on here. We're going to be able to get a good run down the hill in towards the hairpin. Can we make it work? I think we can. And we're going to be up at a P5 now of the GP. However, Bottas in that McLaren, nearly 4 seconds up the road there, as that's a warning for track limits apparently. And no idea what that line is through P1 either. Gasly got his run on us as we head down the Kemmel Straight once more. He's going to have a look to the inside. Is Pierre? I'm going to try and force him defensive and hook it up back around the outside we go. Thank you very much. Going to try and make a move like that, Pierre. You got to make it stick, mate. Because we've got to try and close up to Bottas, however. Starting to get a bit worried at the moment as we come towards the end of lap 6. Unless the top guys really start battling, we just don't seem to really be able to close up on them. We're not really losing a lot at the moment. The gap to Bottas still at about 4.5. Says that. It just jumps up to almost 5. But yeah, we just need Verstappen and Tsunoda to start going side by side through the middle sector. Hamilton and Bottas being left with nowhere to go. And maybe then we can start to capitalise.
Keep taking care of them.
I was secretly hoping some of these guys would do soft hard, in this Grand Prix, but it looks like they might all be trying to extend the stint to go to mediums, which is a bit frustrating, because I thought we might have a little bit of pace in the back pocket later on in the race. Oh, there we go, Gasly.
Let's box this lap.
So Gasly into the pits then at the end of lap 7, the first of the front runners to blink in this GP. But we've got to try and come in at the end of this one, and I think a lot of the front runners are as well. So there might be a chance to undercut one of the Mercedes, or at least get a lot closer. Unless, of course, for whatever reason, they decide to double stack the stops. But yeah, just feeling like we need something. Anything in this race to allow us to get a bit closer, because it just doesn't look like Verstappen gets the run on Tsunoda. Ready to come into the pits then at the end of lap 8 here. Are we going to see any of the other front runners? Yeah, Verstappen and Lewis Hamilton by the looks of it. So Tsunoda has been left out for another lap here. We've got yellow flags out now as well. Someone's got some issues further back. No idea who that is. Are we going to see a retirement from the Grand Prix? It's Charles Leclerc out of the Belgian Grand Prix here, and not too sure. What is that? We've got a safety car. What's going on? Charles Leclerc's engine has gone up there. Stroll's been following him, and just decided he's going to cause a car park there. So Lando's gone into him. Esteban Ocon's gone into him. Nikita Mazepin's gone in there as well. So no wonder we've got a safety car then. There's been carnage down at the final chicane of the lap. And that's going to be massive in this Grand Prix. Nice 2-second stop for us. But of course it brings everyone back together now in the GP. So we have been given a bit of a lifeline here. Tsunoda trying to work out whether he'll get screwed by this or not. Don't think it really affect him too much in this race. But yeah, carnage though at the final chicane there, and the question's got to be asked, what on earth was Stroll doing?
Too low and we risk a penalty. Slow your pace immediately.
I think if anything, this is actually going to really work out in Tsunoda's favour here. I think, well, I mean, it's not really going to make much difference in the long term, because of course we're all just going to get bunched up again, but as long as we come back out in P5, I'm not too worried about this, because of course it just allows everyone to bunch back up there. Has it worked out for Tsunoda actually as we head out of the final couple of corners? I think yes it has. So Tsunoda's still in the lead of the Grand Prix, so top 5 remain unchanged. I think Gasly is one of the losers out of all this, because of course he pit before it and is on hard tyres to try and get to the end of the Grand Prix, so he's going to be in a world of hurt. And he's come out behind Ricciardo and Perez. So not a fun time to be Pierre Gasly in this race, but it's given us a lifeline, and now we can see the 3 men we're battling with for the championship, and Valtteri Bottas. Right, we'll safety car in then at the end of lap 11 as we cross over the halfway stage of this GP. 11 laps down, 11 laps to go, and we've been given a lifeline here, as hopefully now we can try and hang on with Tsunoda, Hamilton and Max Verstappen here. We need to try and navigate Bottas rather quickly. We do not want to be battling McLaren to the end of the race if we want to look in at this top 3, but are we going once more there as we head through the final chicane? There goes Tsunoda. We've got to try and be really careful on the power at this final corner, and it is green flag racing.
We're racing again.
Once again here from the Belgian Grand Prix, and yeah, now I think first aim of course is get these tyres up to temperature and don't fall out the 1 second margin to the guys in front. The AI can heat up their rubber so quickly on F1 2021, which of course we just simply can't, but we just got to keep at it. We're coming towards the end though of the first lap. Looks like we have stuck within the DRS range of Valtteri Bottas, but he's hanging on to Lewis Hamilton and Tsunoda as well as Verstappen there, as we accidentally put the car in neutral coming out of the final couple of corners. So I think we need to try and get a run on Bottas now rather than later in the race. Try and get a good run out of the source, as we have done. We're still 7/10 back there, and that just isn't going to be close enough as we head out onto the Kemmel Straight there. Nice wobble for a Rouge and Radion, but we kept our foot to the floor. Yeah, we are sticking close to Valtteri. Once DRS has been enabled, we've got to move past him. Right, come on then, Valtteri Bottas. Might be able to try and get a run on him before we even get to the DRS zone here, as we are gaining as we head up in towards Blanchimont. Oh, big wobble there, but we somehow keep it pointing in the right direction. Up the inside, we're going to have a look. Big old send in towards the final chicane there. And Bottas, yeah, we've just got to make it clear we're moving past you, mate. I'm up at a 4th place then of the Belgian Grand Prix, but the top 3...
DRS is now enabled.
Yeah, top 3 already starting to break away though, as I've accidentally left the DRS on through La Source, but yeah, we should now be able to pull away from Bottas and Ricciardo, and we've got to desperately try and get that within range. Well, the gap to the top runners isn't going up at all, but it's not really coming down either at this stage of the day. Of course, they're dragging each other along through the DRS, but I feel like we're a bit quicker on these medium tyres, so we're trying to just do anything we can. There we go, 140.8 that time round, and it looks like they bunch up quite a bit through turn 1. Perhaps Tsunoda's struggling a bit, and now Verstappen might be able to try and line up a chance. Verstappen is practically pushing Tsunoda at the end of the Kemmel Straight there, and we just desperately need for him to try and have one look up the inside there, you know, force him to go side by side through the chicane there and allow us to get in the range of Hamilton.
In loose debris. Fortunately, the marshals have managed to clear it up in time, and there are no plans for a safety car right now.
No idea what that's all about. You can see the gap to Hamilton down to 1.4, as we're still setting PB after PB here. We just need a couple of opportunities just to get in that DRS range, and we can make something work here. Come on, 3 laps to go, and the gap might just dip under the 1 second mark for a brief moment. It was exactly a second when I looked in the braking zone. Are we going to get any DRS on Lewis Hamilton? No, we're not. But we need to try and stick close out of the source.
Catch the car in front, but we need to look after the tyres. We won't be making another pit stop.
Well aware we might be making another pit stop before the end of this one, Jeff, but I don't think we're quite going to get the DRS range this time round. Hamilton has always got such good drive at that first corner, but we might get it with 2 laps to go, as long as we continue to make the same sort of progress we have. Look at Verstappen, though, on Yuki Tsunoda. He gains, and just as we head in towards the chicane, he's all over the back of him, but can't make anything happen. I think Hamilton's now really trying to just start completely draining his battery as we head in towards the final lap then of the Belgian Grand Prix there. Are we going to see Verstappen and Tsunoda have anything more to say and dispute over this lead there, as we actually get nicely within the 1 second mark there, but we launched it far too early.
Final lap of the race.
in towards that chicane there, but Tsunoda is still hanging on for now. This has been 4 drivers, all in the championship hunt, all pushing to the absolute limit. But I can't just help but feel once again that this car, we've got pretty much every upgrade we possibly can on it. It's got pretty much every performance upgrade it possibly can have, and we just can't seem to match the Mercedes and the Red Bull at this stage of the game there. Verstappen again can't find anything against Yuki Tsunoda here. Our tyres are practically gone in this GP there. That is definitely not the line through the second part of the chicane there at the top of the hill. But yeah, Verstappen, I don't think he's going to be able to do anything here against Yuki Tsunoda, but all 4 of us have pushed to the absolute limit in this Grand Prix, but I just don't think we're going to be able to get anything more out of it today. And what do we need to do to catch a break in this championship at the moment? Since that French Grand Prix, it feels like the car's taking a step backwards, I'll be honest with you guys, but I think all it is just Red Bull and Mercedes have really upped the ante at the moment. They realised we were a threat and are both focused on putting a lot more upgrades into their own cars.
2.1 seconds.
That's not quite what I needed as well. No idea how that one hasn't ripped a wheel off.
On track, but officials aren't looking to push for a safety car right now. Just be careful.
Now we just got to try and get through the final couple of corners there, as that was not quite the ending to the Belgian Grand Prix we need, as long as we don't lose the place to Bottas or Ricciardo. But through the final couple of corners, Tsunoda is going to win the Belgian Grand Prix there. He has been on fantastic form, but it's only P4.
That's the end of the race. We'll see you in Parc Fermé.
A difficult race then on one of the all-time classic circuits, but they persevered to take the win here today. Anthony Davidson, how do you think they were able to set themselves apart today?
Without a doubt, the safety car changed everything today. The key to their success was keeping calm and reacting to the situation quickly. We've seen teams in the past throw away wins because they were too hesitant, but here they were decisive, and that's allowed them to take the advantage.
Mercedes are on top form once again after an excellent race weekend. It's great to see them up on that podium once again. So then, it's time to see how this result affects the Drivers' Championship. It wasn't the best weekend for our championship leader, and their advantage at the top has been reduced. So, Anthony Davidson, who would you rank as your driver of the day?
Daniel Ricciardo certainly impressed me today, an incredible performance.
It's time to check out the constructors' standings. Mercedes continue to extend their lead. I'm equal parts exhausted and elated with this weekend of Formula One. Be sure to join us for the next one.
Well, there we are then, guys. The end of the Belgian Grand Prix, and it is Yuki Tsunoda who walks away victorious there, ahead of Max Verstappen, who did claim fastest lap, so only loses 6 points to the young Japanese driver there. But yeah, like I said, Tsunoda is on fantastic form there. 2 wins and a 2nd place in the last 3 Grand Prix. Is he about to really show what he is capable of there? Hamilton P3 ahead of myself in the end. We tried as best as we could, but just didn't quite have enough to match the Red Bull and the Mercedes there. McLaren's 5th and 6th, a good race for Bottas and Daniel Ricciardo. They're ahead of Sergio Perez. AlphaTauri is 8th and 9th, with George Russell rounding out your top 10 there. Ferrari don't walk away with any points. Lando Norris disappointed to be down in 12th at the end there when all is said and done. Had a really, really difficult day out for our teammate. Just 1,000th of a second behind his old Spanish teammate of Carlos Sainz there. But championship-wise, Max Verstappen still 7 clear at the top of the table there. 7 points the gap as well between Tsunoda and Lewis Hamilton in 2nd and at 3rd place there. We drop back 30 points back now from Max. We need a perfect end to the season here. 5 races to go. 30 points in it. It is certainly far from decided just yet there. JB still in 6th place ahead of Ricciardo and Pierre Gasly at the moment there. Bottas leapfrogs his way up into 12th. And then further down the order there, Lando Norris still in 16th there. Russell jumps Mazepin with his 2nd points paying finish of the year there. And constructors-wise, falling back from Red Bull and Mercedes this weekend once more. I think I'm not optimistic about the constructors at this stage of the game there. But thank you all so much for watching this video. If you have enjoyed, do make sure you leave a like. Get yourself subscribed as well. And yeah, we'll be back very, very soon. We're round 11 of the year. We head to the Temple of Speed Monza. It's always a track that suits the car. Fingers crossed we can try and put this championship challenge back on track. None of these videos would be possible without the help of our channel supporters. So a massive thank you to The Travesty, Patrick, Chuan, David, Ben, Aidan, Estatios, Cato, Sean, Johnny, McBlam, Mighty Spork, Tazief, William, and Nanon for becoming channel members. If you want to be featured at the end of all these videos, make sure you just click the join button down below.